All right, folks. Well, as you can see, I am working on a missile command that has some issues. It's got this fancy out of order sign on it right now from Wreck-It Ralph. It was supposed to be working, or it was working over the weekend, and then it just stopped working. I had it on; everything's going great, and the machine went into like a white screen, and I flipped it into test mode, and I was getting the rumble and the high and low beeps to indicate which RAM are incorrect or not working properly. And then I just went back and tried to like reseat the connector and try to do a couple of things just last minute because the party was just almost about to start, and nothing worked. And so I ordered some more RAM because I figured that's definitely an issue, but it's actually a little bit worse right now. So I'm going to take this off so you can see the screen. Um, right now when it starts up, it gives me just a kind of a jumbled mess. So I have it plugged in, and I'm just going to demo what we're doing here. It's not on test mode right now, but I'm just going to pull this out so we can see what the screen looks like, and then we'll try to diagnose the issue and go from there. Waiting for the screen to warm up. So yeah, we've got these vertical lines going on right now. It's green and red. If you can't tell on the screen, we've got this bar up here. Basically, something's wrong with the board. I did test power to make sure that there was 5 volts and 12 volts, and that was all working fine. So I'm going to see what happens if I can get this into test mode. Flip this switch. And that does nothing right now. So what I'm going to do is turn it off and turn it back on to see if we get some test mode stuff. What I think it's going to happen is it's going to give me some weird noises. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of beeped a weird loud beep, if you heard that. And now it's in this just kind of jumble state. So it's not even able to run the test program, or at least the program to test the ROMs and the RAMs. So we've got some significant issues going on here. And I'm going to start looking at it and figuring out what's going on. Well, I've got it outside the machine here, just trying to test things out. And I was suspecting the RAM, which is all these chips right here. But as I was playing with these tiny capacitors, like this is fine. It doesn't, I mean, it moves, but you can see the two legs are, focus. You can see the two legs are attached just fine on these. They're not moving like left or right. But when I get to this one, it comes right off. So I'm guessing, I don't even know what these little capacitors do. I don't know if they're tantalum or whatever, but I'm pretty sure this has to be connected. So I'm going to connect that and just see what happens and see if that changes anything. All right. Well, I actually just put my own, if you can zoom in here a little bit, my own new capacitor in there. It was a 0.22 microfarad, whatever, little farad cap. They say they don't make them like they used to, and I believe them. This looks way bigger than this one. This one's supposed to support 50 volts, and this is 25 volts. You can go up in voltage, but you gotta be right exact on the farads, I guess. So, yeah, I'm not confident this is gonna work, but stranger things have happened. So let's turn it on. And we got the 5-volt light, so that's good. Let's see what we got in the front. Pretty much the exact same thing, just a bunch of scrambled mess lines. So that didn't solve it. Looking at the CPU chip, the reset line's number 40, I believe. And if I probe that, it's still resetting. I also was suspecting the RAM across from this one. This is RAM 2 on the test, which is at N4. And when it was able to run the test program, it gave me the rumble and then gave me a low beep, a high beep, and then a bunch of low beeps. So the second one was high, right? Which means that this RAM is bad according to the test program. But I probe pin 2. It's beeping, so that means it's doing something. And then pin 14. 14. Okay, that's stuck low. That's bad. Okay, so now that makes me think that I'm checking all of these. I can't see too good. Like these are all doing stuff, and this one here. So that's doing stuff. But if I look at pin, okay, now it's doing stuff, but it wasn't before. Oh, that's not the right one. That's why. Let me look at this other one. Okay, that's stuck low. This chip is bad right here. Bad taping. This chip, as I probe it, it's stuck low, and that should be high, or it should be toggling. Here's a chip that's good, and it's toggling as expected. So I'm actually going to pick. I have some 416s here, and I'm going to piggyback on this and see if I can get something different as I mess this up. So this is the another 416. 416, almost the exact thing. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to piggyback on here. So I'm going to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You get this guy exposed. So that one's the one I'm suspecting. I'm going to piggyback on it and see if we get something different. I'm gonna have to. Okay, I can't do this with a hand, so I'm gonna put that on there and come back. All right, I've got it on there. It's not the most scientific thing, but it's on there. I'm gonna give it a quick test to see what happens, and if this works, then that means I gotta replace that chip. Oh, it's doing something different. I feel like that's telling me that I have to do something different, or that I'm getting noise, no picture. Well, the picture's scrambled, but it's doing something. I am most likely, I'm going to test this real quick. All right, I'm going to probably replace that and put a socket in there and see if I get a better result, because I'm not confident. I'm going to turn this off. I'm not confident that it is all touching in there and stuff. So on those all 16 pins, so it's just gonna be safer just to put a socket in there and replace the chip. So be back in a bit. Okay, so I know I left saying I was gonna remove this chip right here. I have not done that yet, mainly because the input and output look okay on there. And when I say okay, because I'm just probing it, and nothing's getting stuck high, and it's toggling like I expected. It's kind of toggling similar to the other chips, and I don't like replacing chips when it feels like a complete guess. Even though I piggybacked on there, it didn't give me much to go on, and it felt like a shotgun test, and it wasn't still. I just didn't want to do it unless I was like more than 50-50 confident I was going to do something. So I haven't done it yet. I started looking at the sync circuit. I got the schematics up over here and stuff. And I started looking at the sync circuit. The biggest thing that bothers me is that this reset signal is toggling. And it's basically watchdogging. It means to me there's something wrong in what it's trying to check, and what it's trying to check is hard to explain, but it's checking certain circuitry, and if it fails at some point, this watchdog uh, circuit just kind of goes off, and it keeps toggling this, telling it to reset. It's telling it to reset every like 5 times a second or something like that, or even more. And it's like, well, it doesn't feel like the RAM. And it's not the ROMs either. It doesn't have a chance to pull ROMs. I pulled these all ROMs out, and this I can't even do it right now. It's not on, but that pin 40 right there is the reset pin, and it's just going on and off. And the RAM could be causing that, but I doubt it. I really think there's something wrong in the sync circuit area or something like that. So I started looking around, and I also, I took a step back, and I was like, I don't know where exactly to start. And I've seen some stories online of a guy that's done a lot of missile command fixes, and where you see the line garbage screen. I'm going to turn this on while I talk a little bit so it warms up. And well, it toggles on and stuff, and I'll just show this toggling right here. You see that happening? That's bad. This should be stuck high, and it's not staying stuck high. And a couple of them talk about suspecting the RAM, but and I've seen the pictures of this on multiple times. Like, this is some version of this I get every single time. So it's like, okay, a couple people had the same thing, and I start probing around this chip to make sure address line goes off. And one that makes me cringe is this one. It has nothing going on. You can see this one. This one does something. That's 22. 23 is not doing a damn thing. And that's an output. And so it makes me suspect this chip. But if you look at the schematic, those address lines go straight to these two buffer chips right here, these LS244s. And I start probing around one, and especially this F2. And I found a story that talked about F2 being bad. And these are basically going one-to-one in a sense. And here is AB1, and here's F2. And this chip is red hot. I can't even keep my finger on it. It's hot as F. And I put on this. This pin right here is 5, which is an output pin, is straight on high. And I think this is 15. There's like nothing. I don't even have a signal or nothing. Nothing going on in it. So I'm going to replace this chip. This chip is, I tried piggyback on it, didn't do anything, but these chips are kind of corroded. These legs are corroded. I don't know if you can see that. These legs, that's not it. See how I got the corrosion on those legs? I could sandpaper that and get some clean connection to piggyback, but since how hot this chip is, I'm going to turn this off because it's starting to scare me a little bit. But since how hot that chip is, I feel like whenever you get a red hot chip like that, it's kind of a telltale sign that something's going wrong. So I'm going to pull this out and put a socket in and test this. I have a chip tester machine. I actually have a chip tester, and I have a 244 in there. See that it says LS244? And when I turn it on, error, but I hit it again, and it says LS244. So this chip is good. I'm going to pull that chip out right there, and we're going to see if that's good, and I'm going to put a socket in there as well. So, all right, I've got the chip socketed or the chip removed, I should say, and socketed, and a brand new one in there that I know is working. This is the old one. It is toasted. Let me just be one to say I hate taking out 20-pin chips. They're actually harder than even these big ones, because the big ones are usually never soldered into the board. They usually just have sockets in it, right? So sockets are easy to take out. Once you get to 20 pins, that's like as big as they go, and they start doing sockets. Or back in the 80s, they did sockets, and these 20-pin chips they put in the board, and they're really annoying to take out because trying to get all 20 pins loose. I even was gonna say this chip is toast, but man, it's just annoying. You can see I clipped the edges on this side. Not that exciting. What's more exciting is to see if this works. I checked everything. Everything's connected. The pins, I actually did an okay job in my mind, so I pat myself on the back on that. But we're ready to do a test and see what happens. So hopefully it doesn't catch on fire. That would suck. And we are still in, let's see. Yeah, we'll stay in test and we'll pull the power. Hold on to your butts. Okay, that's a good, but I was hoping to hear RAM issues, but I guess not. So let's see what pops up. That's new. Whoa. Interesting. I feel like we got a little closer. But before I turn this off, I'm going to see if we're resetting. We probably are. Oh, we are not resetting anymore. That's improvement. We are not resetting anymore. So that's a good sign. So that chip solved my resetting issue. So I'm closer, but now I got a sound issue. So, it's not booting. I might have a RAM issue now. So I am going to probe around a little bit more. Oh, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to put it in regular mode. The thing is a little really loud. So we're not resetting anymore. That's a good sign. And this is not even high at all. Okay. I'm going to probe around more in this RAM now to see if there's something wrong with that. I'm probably going to call it a night though, so I'm going to have to come back tomorrow. So progress though. All right, I'm back at it. I just booted it up into test mode, and it's doing the program that you expect. Those noises are actually kind of a good thing. It's telling me which RAM are bad. So you follow along with if it's low, it means good. If it beeps high, it's bad, and it tests all 8 RAM. The rumbling is the start of it. So let's listen. Okay, rumble. 2 is bad. 7, 8, and then it repeats. So it's telling me RAM 2 is bad, and I was so close earlier. I'm going to turn this off again. I'm going to put it out of test mode just for funsies. To show it. It was like, it's so close to booting. It's like right there. It wants to boot so bad. So let's go back and see how. All right, that's really annoying. All right, put it back into test mode. All right. So while it's doing that noise, I'm gonna probe number 2. And they go here across, so it's 1, 2. Hold on, rumble. Wait for it. So it's this one. This one, they don't feel hot at least. That's a good sign. So let's just inspect. So this has got data going in, and the output you gotta check. And that is stuck high. No, it's not stuck high. Well, it's doing weird stuff. So this is a normal output. And that's 13. I think it's 14. Yeah, see, it's not doing the same as the other ones. So, I don't know. It's pulsing, but it's pulsing weird. So I'm probably going to have to replace that RAM too. So that one pulses fine, and that one pulses fine. But when I get to this one, it doesn't like it. And it is pulsing weird. So I guess I got to replace that one now, and then I should be fixed, hopefully. So yay, that helped and got us to the it's not resetting anymore. It's running the program. We just got to we've got to replace this RAM, I guess. All right, I'm going to do that. I'll be back. All right, we've got the RAM in there. She is in there, safe and sound, so to speak. That RAM was kind of annoying to put in, not gonna lie. You can see all the traces right there, right next to each other. And I wasn't fancy. I totally like clipped the RAM legs off so I could get the legs off easier, but it's still with the heat from the soldering iron and my desolder gun. I still had a trouble with some of the traces. Got a little jacked up. Doesn't really matter though. I've connected it. I mean, it matters that I fixed it, but and also these two little capacitors decided to fall off as I was doing this. I kept bumping them as I was trying to get in there, so I put brand new ones on there. So that's nice, I guess. And yeah, we're all in right now, and so this is our first test. I think we're still in test mode, so hopefully we don't have any more bad RAM and this just fires up in test mode. That sounds good. That's really good sound. It went boop, beep. That means everything passed. I'm waiting for the monitor to come on. ROM okay, RAM okay, and this is okay. Yes, this is awesome. And well, let's take it out of test. Yes, we are back in business. Oh. Awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. Awesome, awesome. Wow, I am super happy. Not gonna lie. That was quite the annoying little fix, but I got around it. This it was weird. This chip right here, F2, this 244, yeah, and then this RAM 4116. One guy I saw online said it was bad. You know, it's go bad all the time. One guy says they're really reliable. I think they're not reliable, but we have a working game. Let's see if it starts. Oh, it says it's for coins. It's not in free play. Let's see if I coin up. If I can coin up, I don't even know if I can coin up on this thing. I don't know if there's any switches on here. This is not my game. Well, I will play it. I'm sure it'll work. It's not in free play right now, so I'll have to figure out where the free play option is on this thing. All right, I've got the free play switch turned on. I'm not sure when I turned that off, but the free play switch is on and we are looking beautiful. Everything is working. Can start a game. Push the button, the trackball moves so good. I lubed up the bearings so they're nice and smooth. Use some 3-in-1 oil, a little bit of cleaner as well, just kind of a little mixture. You don't want to use WD-40. WD-40 is bad. But yeah, we got a complete game here. I can't do it one hand well, but everything is working ship shape. Super happy. I've got a brother-in-law that's going to be happy too that his game is working again. So, all right, thanks for watching.